Hello, everyone. I hear the music in the background. Some vibes. We got some vibes here on Thursday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Beyond the Surface podcast. I am your host, Sharon. We are here Thursdays, 6:30. Where's my DJ? Miss DJ, can you turn these down a little bit? I feel like I'm yelling. No? Okay. It is Thursday. This is Beyond the Surface podcast. I am your host, Sharon. We are here to talk about all things love, life, and family. Thank you all for tuning in. When you go to the comments and say hi, so I can greet you. When you come to people's house, you have to say hi. So let me know you're here. We are here on episode 18. 1-8. Too much. 1-8. 18. So I am here. You're here. We are here. Episode 18. Today we are going to talk about family patterns, right? I made a Facebook post about family patterns, like dysfunctional stuff, and I got a lot of feedback from it. And you know what we did? We turned it into a podcast. So here we are with our residential therapist, Jen. She's here. Hey, D. Yeah, come in the room. Say hi. We are here and we are live. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. So if you can, I ask that you share, follow, subscribe, all of that. But while you're here, share the live. Sharing the live is important because if you share the post, I appreciate that. But sharing the live gets people access to viewing what you have already viewed and have been empowered and encouraged on. So I ask that you do that. I'm on both tonight. Oh, you are? Come on, run my numbers up, sis. Yes, we are. I am Beyond the Surface podcast. We also have some other episodes that you can go watch on YouTube and on Facebook. We had Reverend Nikki. She was episode 1 with purpose, faith, goals, and facing our fears. And that's exactly how we started off this podcast. This podcast was birthed out of just God talking to me and being here and moving in my purpose. Never knew I'd get to episode 18, but here we are. We have been faithful among the few things. If you're here, say hi in the comments so I can shout you out. All glory goes to him because without him, we are nothing. Just my feet are planted. My head is to the sky. I am always trying to stay on purpose at this time in my life with what he has for me. I just want to be impactful to people, to women, men, even the kids. Last month, we did our educational series. So if you have kids, go back and watch. Yes, go back and watch. Hey, Mom. Oh, Mother's here. Hey, Mom. Go back and watch Education Month. It was the whole month of August. We talked about things to help you and your kids and parents and guardians with education. We have a lot of episodes that are on 17 to be exact, that are on YouTube, and some are on Facebook on my Beyond the Surface podcast. It's on Facebook and Instagram. But thank you for support. We are really getting a lot of views on these podcasts, right? Because people are listening. I'm always getting someone who I never see on the podcast or I don't see in the comments, but people do come up to me and they're saying they're really being blessed by the podcast. So thank you guys so much for watching, for tuning, for rewatching, for sharing with your friends. Like, we are really getting like 2,000 to 4,000 views on these podcasts. And that is amazing. You know, we're all supposed to be here planting seeds, right? We're all supposed to be here planting seeds, and then someone else will water them. So I encourage you to walk in your purpose. If you're here, say hi in the comments so I can acknowledge you. It's Thursday, feeling a little good. I'm feeling amazing about this episode. Hey, Rosemary. Hey, boo. Because you guys know, if you follow me on Facebook, you know this episode came from a post about family patterns, right? We think are normal, but they're actually signs of dysfunction. So we have our resident therapist is here. You all love her. Me too. We all love her. Yes, we love her. She is here. If you can do me a favor though, can you go? She is on YouTube, and she's on Facebook, and she is on Instagram. If you can, go to those pages now when we get off. Cultivating Wellness. You love her so much. I need y'all to go follow her. Yes, Jen Owens. She got a lot of commas after her name, right? So go over there, Cultivating Wellness. She talks about therapy and all types of things, topics on her podcast. So I need y'all. Hey, Miss Thea, I need y'all to get over there. Well, don't leave here because I'm finna bring her up, right? Don't leave here. But when you leave here, okay, head over there today. Oh, did you guys know, like last week, I think it was Thursday or Friday, that Fat Man Scoop died? Like that hurt me, right? He gave us a lot of things and anthems of our life, right? Who else? What else? Oh, the school shooting. Y'all pray for our kids that are going back to school. A lot of kids went back to school this week, so pray for our kids. Pray for the family from the shooting in Georgia. That is so sad, so terrible. So keep that family in prayer. There's a lot going on out in these streets, a lot. So yeah, and tomorrow, Kirk Franklin is here, but also the Eagles are playing. I don't know how we got these tickets to Kirk Franklin to go. Where's he at? The Wells Fargo Center with the Saints. But at the same time, the Eagles are playing the Packers in Brazil at 8:15. So I don't know if Kirk gonna cut this concert or stream the game. We'll probably be watching at the same time. I don't know. Might be caught up in the spirit. We'll see. But yes, if you are here, come in the comments, say hi so I can acknowledge you. How y'all doing on Thursday? This weather has been beautiful, right? Not it's that fall. It's like a sense of fall. It's cool, but then it gets a little hot and warm, under 80. Y'all brought y'all Uggs out, your boots. I wanted to put my boots on today, but I know the people at work wouldn't know the difference. but I did want to put like some little booties on today. So yeah, come in the comments, say hi. Let's do our affirmation. We do our affirmation, right? Have you guys been doing your affirmations, like finding you something for the week, doing your word for the week to come up with something that builds yourself up and, get your week going and get your day going? This week, I got something for you. My affirmation says, I let go of thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve me. Today, I am open to seeing myself a new way, right? Letting go of things that don't serve me. Like a lot of times we hold on to things of not generational. What's the word? Oh, see, Jen is here because I have a question for her. She come on. She told us that she doesn't call them generational curses. She calls them something else. But when she pop on the screen, right, I'm going to ask her because me and the nieces were having this conversation. We could not figure out what the word was. But yes, if you're here, say hi in the comments and so we can acknowledge you. But yeah, thank you all for coming in. Thank you. I am here. This is Beyond the Surface podcast with Sharon. I'm your host, Sharon. We're here to encourage, empower, inform, and enlighten you with the information, right? Because here we are bringing you guys all the information. We're going to talk about family dysfunction, communication. We all need that. I know I do. I'm learning though. I'm on a different journey. Coming into myself. I'm doing better. My family will tell me I'm doing better. That's the test. If your family says you're doing better with your communication, other people will say you're doing good. But your kids, your siblings, your spouse, they'll let you know if you're not doing better. But yeah. Oh, that was a spouse with a pa. Okay. Well, clearly, maybe not doing better. All right. Well, there's always room for improvement. Jen, are you ready, ma'am? You ready? You ready? Yeah, so everyone, welcome to our stage. My boo.
Hey.
Girl, hey.
Good. How you doing?
I am fantastic. Let me tell you how happy I am that you are here. Okay. Because, I made the post and then I tagged you in the post and I said, I don't even know if she's going to come back. But you did say, I'll come back whenever you need me. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was very important to talk about this.
Oh, It's a great topic. I'm glad to be here. I'm always happy to be invited back. So thank you. I'm ready to talk
So,
about it.
so what was the word that you used on your episode? And you said it's not, you don't call it generational curses. You called it
Oh, I
what?
call them generational habits.
Habits. Key.
Yeah, I just call them habits. Yeah.
Generational habits. Okay. Okay. We're going to use that because I don't like the curses. Generational habits.
Yeah,
But
the only reason why I don't like the curses is because it seems really magical, like it just happened to us, but
yeah.
or wicked, but
Yeah.
it didn't just happen.
Correct.
These are all things that generations before us participated in, and we all picked up the habit, and that's that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do you think about today's topic? Like, what were you thinking when I tagged you?
I was like, ooh, this gonna be spicy.
Because a lot of times family members are a little about talking about these things with each other, especially in our community.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's especially if you can identify with it. It can be very difficult, very uncomfortable. It could be triggering and hurtful.
Right.
Because I think a lot of times when people have toxic communication patterns, it's not that they want to be hurtful and harmful. So that's what they have. Those are the skills they have. And, not always are they meaning to hurt or harm the people around them.
Look at you. You're so nice. Can we talk about the shirt? No, this is me reading the shirt.
Yeah, right? Listen, you can have Jesus and a therapist too.
Because folks will say, take it to Jesus and pray about it. And then it's supposed to magically, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to magically release the curse. And no.
Right. It doesn't happen like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Y'all say hi to Jen in the comments. Give her a little shout out. So,
hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. So nice. You want to jump right to it? We can talk about. So moving on like nothing happened. I know these people. I used to be one of these people. It's the generational habit of, I don't want to say ignoring or like avoidance. What are you thinking? Moving on like nothing is what? Avoidance?
I think, well, before we even talk about the habits and the patterns, you probably want to talk about where these things originate from.
Yeah.
These poor communication patterns. Yeah.
Got you.
So this one particularly, like moving on, like nothing happened, ignoring the issue. It could be completely a lack of skills, uncomfortable with identifying feelings and sharing those feelings, and uncomfortable with the topic at hand. So whatever it is could just be very uncomfortable to talk about.
So can
moving on like nothing happens could be a lot of reasons why.
Right. So in relationships, whether it's family relationships or, spouse relationships or like parent-children relationships, if you are uncomfortable, like having the conversation, how can you approach that? Like, how can you get yourself uncomfortable to have the conversation?
Yeah, that's a good question. You can get yourself uncomfortable. The question is, are you willing to do that?
Okay.
Everybody experiences being uncomfortable, but it's whether or not they're willing to stay in that until they're comfortable with this type of communication. So that's the first part. Are you willing to be uncomfortable for a little bit to get through this? And then eventually this will be a new habit, and a good one at that. But sometimes there's barriers and things that get in the way of us being good communicators or effective communicators. It could be mental health issues in the family that are like unaddressed.
Mm-hmm.
There could be significant life events such as childhood trauma, domestic violence, addiction, the loss of the matriarch or patriarch of the family, loss of income. There could be a lot of different moving pieces that contribute to us being poor or ineffective communicators.
Yeah. So if I'm a poor communicator and then the person who offended me is a poor communicator, how do we even navigate? Is that that possible?
It's really hard. It's possible. But someone must first identify that they're a poor communicator
I mean, I know
because
sometimes I'm a poor communicator. I know that, but I'm still uncomfortable with approaching like someone else because I don't know how we even start the conversation.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you're both poor communicators, knowing and understanding that is number one. So it's like accepting that that's the issue is number one, not being in denial, not acting like you're a
Right.
perfect communicator and you're not the problem. So taking accountability, identifying like, yes, I'm not the best at this, makes it easier to step into that space and start communicating. The
Right.
number one thing that someone has to be willing to do to be a good communicator is to listen.
Wow. Okay. So that's number
Yeah.
one, to be listening. What
Yeah.
am I
Because
listening for though if they're not
communication
saying
is
nothing?
a lot.
They ain't saying nothing. I ain't
Body
saying nothing.
language, the
Oh,
energy in the room, the body
gotcha.
language, all of those things are a part of our communication. But sometimes this is all that gets identified as communicating. Oh, I know
Right.
how to express myself. I know
Verbal.
how to talk. I know what points to make. Um, yeah, that's very minimal on the scale of communication because
Right.
someone's body language can be speaking way louder than they ever will.
Right.
And we
Yeah.
need to listen to all of that. So we listen to the energy in the room. You know how people say read the room?
Read the
It's
room.
not because
Yeah.
everybody in the room is talking, it's because the energy in the room and maybe you can get a feel for like where everybody's at and you're looking, you're kind of gauging their body language and stuff like that. You're like, okay, you know what? Maybe this isn't the best time to talk about what happened last Thanksgiving. You
Right.
know, let me read the room.
What if people
So,
are not? Because I know these people and they are not good at reading the room. So how, child, they're not. So how, like,
yeah,
do you pull them to the side and say, hey, now is not a good time because you finna turn everything up.
yeah. I think I've seen that happen before and it still got turned up. So,
Right.
you know, sometimes there's nothing you could do about someone else. That's the other thing. So it's like, one, I'm going to listen, I'm going to read the room, and I'm going to accept people for who they are and where they're at. Sometimes that's not going to happen with that person.
Right.
Just
Okay.
because you learn new habits, new communication styles, you begin to listen more, you read the room, you verbalize your feelings, and you address things head on or how you feel like is effective, doesn't mean the
Yeah.
person that you want to communicate with will do the same.
Oh, that's
So acceptance is very
mhm.
high on the list of things to do when you're working on communication. That person may not be ready to have that conversation. That person may not be ready to talk to you, and that's their choice. We don't get to kind of like invade on that.
So even with this, it does it give a false sense of harmony? Like when we're like moving on, like nothing happens. We just, a big issue happens, a big argument happens in the house, or whatever happens, and then we all come back together for Thanksgiving, and then we're like, "Hey, how you do? How you doing?" And then it's like that awkward
Yeah.
silence of, "I don't know if I should hug you. Are we good? Is this a continuance?" I know you
Mhm.
said it's part of the communication and like reading body language. So
Yeah.
how do we like manage that?
See, that's really tough, and it could be really it could be a lot of layers to that. Like how severe was the argument, or how severe was the issue? Um, Gauges whether or not you want to have that fake harmony. I'm not good at it, honestly. From just a human standpoint, I'm not good at pretending to be okay with someone that I'm not okay with. It's just I don't have good poker face, and I don't
Right.
want to have good poker face. I'm okay with that. Um, so in those instances, it's kind of like, what am I going to do for me? Do you need to be at
Yeah.
Thanksgiving if it's that bad? Because you're participating in fake harmony too. You're sending the same message if you come to Thanksgiving and you're like, hey, everybody, especially if you're not okay with it. If you're okay with it and you're like, it wasn't that big of a deal, it is what it is. Moving on is essentially not 100% incorrect. But if you're not okay with it and it's not sitting well with you and it's causing angst for you to be around those individuals, then yes, you need to find a way to communicate with them. But it does not mean that they're going to be receptive. It doesn't mean that anything's going to change. It just means I'm voicing to you that I'm not okay with this. I'm not over this. and we're not okay, we're not good, and that's
And
it.
it's
And you can
okay
still
to voice that,
participate in
right?
whatever's going on. It is okay to voice that. The thing is, it's not okay to have an expectation that the person is going to receive it or
Ah,
change.
can you expound on that?
That's where the issue comes. So just because you're ready and you're in a place and you express yourself appropriately, it doesn't mean that the person's going to be like, okay, Sharon, I understand. I'm really sorry that this happened. I shouldn't have done that. They can be like, girl, whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, that's how I feel. And that's how I wanted it to be. Like, do what you got to do, whatever.
And
And then, so what do you do in that sense?
either
Right.
here or we ain't there. Like it's whatever.
Yeah.
So if somebody's
Yeah.
like that, you're just voicing whatever you have to say, and you expect not. Are you expecting nothing from them?
You expecting them to be who they are. And then you got to take care of yourself.
Okay, I like that.
You have to take care of yourself.
I like
So,
that.
you know how people say, oh, I got to get closure. I got to get closure. Well, sometimes the closure is you and you alone. Sometimes the
Really?
closure is not from the other person. Why do we have this expectation that people are going to respond the way that we want them to respond?
Because
Or
people told us we should have closure to close books, chapters, relationships, friendships. Like you need closure to move on is what we've been told.
all right, well, let's look at a situation. Let's look at an example. So we have these huge life events that affected so many, like 9/11.
Yes.
And people lost so many family members. People lost whole parts of their lives. People's lives changed forever. And the people that were directly affected by those events, do you think they got closure?
Right.
Or do you think they got a chance to talk to the family members of the people who crashed those planes?
It's a good perspective. There
There
none.
was no closure from that side of the fence that we're always talking about or looking for.
Yeah.
That closure is within us. That's between me, myself, and I. I have to do work to help myself in this instance and care for myself, because on the other side of the street, there's no closure for that. And
Right.
sometimes it's the same on smaller scales. Sometimes you're not going to get no closure from that relationship. You're not going to get a straight answer or a reason why. You're not going to get support or comfort. So
Because you're
then,
looking for it
what?
because you love these people. So you're looking for
Yes.
support and comfort, but do not look for closure because there a lot of times out of 10 there is none.
Yes. The closure is within ourselves. Sometimes we have
Closure
to do
is
the work to
within us.
care for ourselves. It's
Yes.
between me, myself, and I. And if for some reason this person takes accountability and you guys have that moment, consider it a great blessing,
Yeah.
because that's not always going to be the case.
So what about I love that. Can y'all put in the comments the closure is within ourselves? Because I was looking for a door, a chapter like in this. This was great. Thank you for talking. I feel better. You feel better? I hope. I'm always like that's been my little I won't call it soapbox, but that's where I've been on. Looking for closure. I want to get it together. And yeah, that's just the closure is within myself and how I feel and how
Yeah.
I'm moving. I like that. So generational habits. Like, so this is a generational habit that we have learned. Where we learn this from?
The people, girl. We learned it from the people.
It's
The folks.
a generation.
Yeah, from the folks. We learned it. It wasn't a class. We didn't sit down
Right.
and they didn't teach us on the board like, all right, now this is how you ignore somebody, or this is they
Yeah.
showed us and we did it too. That's how that goes.
So how do we unlearn it for the kids of moving on, and even just us unlearning it unhealthy habits here? How do we unlearn like moving like nothing happened?
Well, we have to practice it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's number one. Like you have to. This is an action thing. This isn't like, okay, everybody's going to listen to everybody's going to listen to this podcast and all of a sudden they're going to be like an effective communicator.
Gotcha.
No, not only because you listened to it, you're going to be an effective communicator because you took some of the tips and you started practicing them.
Gotcha.
And it's best to practice them when you're not at the height of your anger. Right? So if I'm practicing in regular conversation using I statements, or even when things are getting a little bit heated, I'm noticing that I'm still able to say, I feel hurt that you slammed the door in my face. Right? When
Right.
I'm able to practice those things on all levels, then it's going to be that much easier for me to do it when things get really heated, because there is a
Gotcha.
part of my natural vocabulary. It's a part of my habits now.
Yes.
Yeah. So using I statements is one of the things you guys will want to practice. Because a lot of times when we're talking to someone, especially when we're upset, it's like, you did this and you did that, and you're so dumb and you're so annoying and you get on my nerves. And like, oh my God, why do you always do that? We do that. We point the finger at people
Right.
and we make generalized
Yes.
statements like, you always
Yes.
say that. You always do that. And it's like, well, that's a stretch. Like, I don't always do this.
Right.
It's more like, well, you did this yesterday and you also did it today, and it just feels like it's happening all the time. That's effective. Making
Gotcha.
general
Okay.
statements is not
It's
effective.
ineffective. Correct. Because
Yes,
if
and
you
it's
always
hurtful.
do this, it is hurtful because I've done it. I've done it here with the husband. I'm like, you always doing, and you're 5 times, 4 times
Yeah,
in
yeah.
17 years, but it's not, you know what I mean? So it
Hmm.
is. He's definitely says, I don't always do that. So I definitely had to say, okay, let me change my pattern and my speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So using I statements and I connecting your feelings to the actual event. So when we spent so much time saying, if I say, Sharon, you're always like logging on late. It's so annoying. Like, what is wrong with you? It's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Hold
Like,
on.
who
Hold
are
on.
you talking to? Like, it's
Yeah.
so now it's a problem, right? Versus
Yeah.
me
Now
saying
I'm
like,
getting a little aggressive.
yes, exactly. Because I got to protect myself. It's,
Yeah.
it's like, I got to protect myself because you're really coming at me, instead of saying, I feel annoyed when you log on late because it throws my schedule off, and I'm wondering like, what can we do to make you be on time, or something like that. That changes everything, and you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, well, I'm logging on late
Okay. I
because
apologize. I apologize.
yeah,
Right.
problem solved.
Bob, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
So do
so
you encourage like family meetings for these types of things? What do you think about that? Why you do
mm,
that?
well, family meetings for what kind of things? For like
Just
issues?
even issues and resolution. Do you think, because if I have and I'm uncomfortable, but I still want to be around the family, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there should be some type of resolution because I still want to come around the folks, or do, like, you're very y'all gonna know if I don't fool with these people over here.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to go to Thanksgiving or the family reunion and I don't fool la la with 5 folks there, do I just not go, or do I go and just be around who I'm around?
Okay. Is the whole family involved in the issue?
The whole family is there for the issue. Everybody's seen it. Everybody knows. So everybody know, like, it's some tension. Is that the word, tension? There's some
Yeah.
tension.
Okay, so here's my thing about the family meeting. If the family meeting was if the family was involved in the incident that caused the turmoil, then
Hmm.
yeah. So if multiple people were involved, not if multiple people witnessed.
There's a difference. Okay.
Yeah, so if multiple people were involved and Sally said this and Susie said that and then she punched her and then he drove off in the car, then we're all involved. But if I was just eating a slice of sweet potato pie and y'all got to
Mhm.
arguing, I don't got nothing to do with this.
Right.
Like,
I
I'm really
just
not
was
even in it.
outside smoking my cigarette, and then I heard all this yelling.
Exactly. And I packed
Right.
my crew up and left, but so no, I don't think family meetings are necessary if everybody was not involved. I think the people that were involved and who have been affected
Hmm.
should meet and should talk if that's something that can happen. If you guys are capable, then yes.
This is not my family I'm talking about, just so we're clear.
Yes, disclaimer. We were not talking about personal business today.
I'm giving examples, people. So Dee Dee asked, Dee Dee said, what if they start deflecting and they turn it on you? So how do you
Mhm.
deal with that if they turn
That is a
the
really good.
conversation on you?
Yeah. So one, listen, because the first thing we usually do when things are happening like this is we start to take everything personally.
Yeah.
And then there's no space to really listen because we're ready. Like, I've lined up my 5 points that I am about to say, and I'm about to interrupt you. So this conversation of what you're saying isn't going to last long. So it's really important to listen. It's so uncomfortable. So we're
Yeah.
not going to act like it's just so easy to do this. Not easy. It's very uncomfortable. So first listen. So if someone's deflecting and they're turning it around on you,
Mm-hmm.
just listen. And the reason why I'm saying that is because they may make some valid points. They may have chosen to do it at the wrong time
Right.
because we're talking about you and what you did, but some of the points may be valid. So if you listen in and you notice that some of the points are valid, accept them and take accountability. Because what can they do after that?
Because there
Nothing.
could be a lesson in the lesson.
It could be a lesson in the lesson, and they can have valid points. So
Yeah.
you're right. I do that. I apologize for how it makes you feel. Thank you for bringing that up to me. This is like humble pie. Humble pie. It's a lot of humble pie and
Yeah.
ineffective communication sometimes because it's not always the other person that's the problem, honestly. But they may be picking the wrong time to say something to you, right? Because I'm starting
Right.
to say something to you, and now you want to talk about me. We ain't talking about me. I didn't do anything today. That was 2 days ago. You should have said something 2 days ago.
Girl, why you
It
ain't say
doesn't work like that, though.
You said it
Right?
doesn't work like
Really?
that?
It doesn't work like that because when we're triggered, then we have to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? We have to defend ourselves. Okay, so one, you want to listen. You want to try to take it in. Hold on to your chair because I know it hurts. I know it's frustrating. It's annoying. So listen. If you notice that there's things that they said that are valid, try your best to take accountability in the moment and, say apologize or however you want to handle it from there. And then ask, okay, can we go back to addressing what I was saying?
Okay.
Then also try to keep it on the I statements, right? So we're going back here. We're going to listen. We're going to take accountability. And we're going to use I statements when we're addressing the other person. I feel such and such because of such and such. We're going to try not to lead with you did yada yada and you're crazy. We're going to try to leave that.
Crazy. You're acting crazy right now. We are not saying that.
We're going to try our best.
Okay.
Try our best.
I mean, this is a lesson for me because I'll say how I feel, but then I'll tell you how you're acting. That is not what we're doing, right?
So, okay, we are addressing people's behavior. We are.
Yeah.
We're not attacking them, though.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
and it's tone too, right? They said in the comments, it's tone.
Yes, it is your tone. It's your facial expressions. It's your tone.
Right. It's all it is.
Right. And so it is important to address the behavior. We're addressing the behavior when we say, I feel such and such when you do such and such.
Yeah.
Right. Or I don't like when you do such and such. We're addressing the behavior. We're just not saying you're out here acting like a fool, jumping all around on your grandmama couch. Right. We're not doing, we're not doing that. Like, we're just saying it in a different way. You're still getting your point across. You're just trying to do it in a different way.
Yeah. They said, be quick to listen and slow to speak. And the eyes.
Yes. And slow to anger. And
slow to anger too. Come on, good book.
Yes. Hello?
That's what the book says. And Jen, y'all see Jen's shirt? It says it's okay to have Jesus and a therapist too, right?
Okay. We love
She's
the
here.
Lord here.
We love we love the Lord, and you need Jen.
Yes. Or someone.
Or someone. But she got something going on and she working. So if you guys have any comments, please put them. Please put them in the comments. Just swallow your humble pride. And I like that you said that because a lot of times we are you. And sometimes if we listen, right? Sometimes the people are giving us like some stuff we don't want to listen to about ourselves, of how we are. Like sometimes we could be passive aggressive with other people, but we don't see it because I'm so you that you should listen to what the other person is saying.
Yeah, for sure. Another major thing that causes for ineffective communication in families is cultural variables. So we think that because we're born into a family, we all have the same cultural variables, that we all are, for my family, that we're all African-American Christians.
Right.
and that's our only cultural variables, but it's not our only cultural variables. As
Okay.
people go through life, they have different cultural variables. So maybe someone's gay or lesbian, or in the LGBTQIA community, and
Right.
that's a cultural variable.
Okay.
Maybe someone goes to the military, that is a cultural variable. Someone goes to college, cultural variable. These things start to change and shape and cultivate your personality and who you are and your beliefs.
Got you.
And we bring that back into our family that we grew up in, and we have to start to change a little bit of the narrative, and that could be an adjustment for some of the people around us.
It is. It's even an adjustment when you're married and you both come
Yeah.
in, and it's, a variable
Mhm.
culturally because you come from different households. So you
Mhm.
talk different, you're raised different, you act different. You could potentially raise your kids different. You speak to each other
Oh
different.
yeah.
Like,
Oh
right?
yeah. But all we think about is like religion, race, what else? Your sex, whether you're male or female, and
Yeah.
that's it. We don't think
Food
beyond that.
too.
Yes.
Because let me tell you something. We be in here arguing, or not arguing, but having differences over garlic
Yes.
powder and onion powder on chicken wings.
Exactly.
I
All
need,
cultural variables.
huh? And he's like,
Yeah.
salt and pepper, paprika. I'm like, no, I need a little something, throw something on there, something else. So yeah.
Yes.
So I will say, like, when you grow up in different, it is different, and it can be
It
anything and
is.
everything.
It could be. Eating at the table is a cultural variable. Did you grow up eating at the table? Your kids, you didn't have a cell phone when you were 12 or 13 or 14 years old, but your kids had them at 9, 10, and 11. That's another cultural variable. These are all
Yeah,
things that are barriers to communication sometimes,
yeah,
because we have different beliefs, different ways of doing things, and different ways of speaking.
got you. You want to move on? Are y'all good? Are y'all enjoying? Please put some hand claps. Put some hand claps in the comments so I can see you guys are enjoying our topic. Topic 2. You want to move on to topic 2, ma'am?
Yeah, we could move on to topic 2.
So topic 2 is staying silent when things need to be addressed. Y'all,
Oh.
y'all, this is definitely something or a culture. You know what? This is part of that cultural variable because my husband is a talker.
Mhm.
He will verbalize. Listen, let's talk about this. And me, I'm
Yeah.
like, we ain't talk about that right now. We'll talk about it later. Little avoidance. Come on, number
Right.
one. Little avoidance here. What do you
Oh
think about
God.
that? Like, what's the patterns, like the emotional, all of that? What goes into that?
Well, a lot of things. When we talk about these things, that the points that we're making today, the moving on like nothing happened, and the staying silent when things need to be addressed, it's like a recipe. So it's like a recipe of habits and learned
Mhm.
behavior. So it's not always a one thing that led to someone practicing silent treatment versus
Right.
being an effective communicator. So it could be a lot of things that led to that. They could have never been able to express themselves ever a day in their life in their house. So they just shut up.
Yeah,
So they don't
that's true
have
though.
they like it's whatever, like it's fine, whatever. And they just move on and they just stop talking about it. Um it could be fear that when I do say something, something worse happens. Either with me, like I can't control myself, I take it too far, so it's best for me to just not say nothing,
Not say
or
nothing. Yeah.
because every time in the past I've said something or expressed myself, and now
Mhm.
all hell broke loose.
Right. So
So it's
now I
like,
ain't saying nothing.
yeah, like girl, go on. I ain't got nothing to say to you. Like this,
Right. I'm saving
that's
you
gonna
and
be
me.
more of a hassle. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like but this can just be the pattern of thinking for someone. Like, you don't understand. You think I'm ignoring you. I'm protecting you.
Right.
I'm
Right. Right.
protecting me. Like you don't want me to really say what I want to say. So we're just going to leave this alone.
So even with people who are like that, how if you are like that and I am the one who wants to, hey, let's talk about this, and I am pushing you to talk about it, like how what am I doing wrong? But mine is pushing you to talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
am I giving you space? Am I leaving you alone? How can I approach you? Should I approach you later?
Yeah, you should. You definitely should. Um, and I think it is important to give people their space and their time, but I also think it's important for them to be able to communicate that. And sometimes we have to be the one to motivate that. So you
Hmm.
might say like, I really do want to talk about this. I'm going to respect that you don't want to talk about it right now, but when can we talk about it? Sometimes the talking is through text. Sometimes the talking is through letter writing. Sometimes the talking is done at a different time outside of the home. Maybe because at home it's like a no holds bar and it goes way too far. But if we do it while we're walking around our neighborhood, it won't be like that because we're
It won't
cognizant of the
escalate.
people around. Yeah.
Right.
So maybe change of environment may help. Maybe the timing is poor. Maybe they need some time to calm down. But I do encourage trying to have the conversation as long as it's safe. You know what I mean? And you feel safe. Um, it's a learned behavior to shut down and be silent. And sometimes it's not going to be an easy fix, but I do encourage supporting your partner to talk about it and opening different channels to be able to do that communication. And I don't even mean just partner, I mean like whoever the person is,
Yeah.
to be
Your
able to talk
kids, your
about it. Yeah.
friends. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I know friends who are like the quiet. I guess they'll say it's the quiet friends, but they will shut down and they
Yeah.
will do all of that. So, you do encourage giving them space, but we
I
should
do.
but
You
what
should
if
inquire.
what if
You
you're
should
like
not nag. You should. This
not
is not like,
mad?
okay, when we're gonna talk. When we're gonna talk. When we're gonna
Right.
talk. All right, it's been 3 days. When we're gonna talk. When we no,
Yeah.
that's just
Okay.
not it. This is another slice of humble pie. It's like, okay, sometimes the decision you make. It's not sometimes the decisions that you make is for you.
Mhm.
So if this is something you can't handle and this is not changing, right? Especially if this is with a partner, then what are you gonna do? If this is with a friend, then what are you gonna do? If this is with an adult loved one, then what are you gonna do?
Right.
Because you're not in control of what someone else does. You can encourage,
Yeah.
you can support, and there could still be no change. So at that point, what are you going to do?
And can the people sometimes they're silent because like there is no support on the other side, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes
why
like
would
you
I
don't
say something? That's what I'm saying. Like, why would I say something if I know if I'm going to say something, you're going to act a fool?
right. Now you're being there's no emotional support on there. You don't have a good listening ear. You're not listening to what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. And I this is why I can't come talk to you. Right? That's the kids
Yeah.
to the parent. This is why I can't
Yeah.
tell you nothing because you always going off the deep end immediately.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so I think it's important to give somebody their space. Even though they're not saying nothing, silent treatment is a form of communication. I'm telling you, I don't want to do this right now. I'm
Yeah.
telling you that. And then asking, can we have a conversation about this? When will be a good time? That's the humble pie part because you're ready to do it right now. So inquiring and saying, like, when would be a good time? Do you want to talk
Mm.
about this? This is important to me, you know, and setting up a way for you guys to do it where everybody's comfortable at the right time.
Is it important to be a like do people need to learn how to be good listeners?
Yeah.
Cuz I know some people who just don't listen. They just waiting
Yeah.
for the other person to stop to finish talking and then they're going to get their points across.
Mhm. Yeah. You do got to learn how to be a good listener. It's a very uncomfortable thing to do, especially if you're in a situation where you have stuff that you want to say and you don't like the behavior of someone else or what
Yeah.
they're saying. So, I was not a good listener. I wasn't always a good
You
listener.
said you
I
weren't?
learned
No?
no, I learned no. I learned how to be.
Listen
Yeah.
to who?
Yeah, I was not a good listener. Because I was a young mom and I just had stuff going on.
There's no
You
time to
know,
listen.
yeah, I was like, "Oh, girl, sit down and eat this peanut butter jelly sandwich." like,
It's
just
poison to me. Eat it.
right. Right. It's like I know what I know and you don't know.
Right.
Yeah. So I learned how to be a good listener, but it is definitely possible and it's just not comfortable, when the topic is spicy, I like to say.
Spicy. So staying silent when things need to be addressed. So if something needs to be addressed? Like what specifically could be some things that should be addressed? Do you have
Like
some of
right
those?
away. You mean like right in the
Like
moment?
right away. Like we need to
That's
talk
hard
about
for
this
me
within
to
like
say because it may be important to you, but not important to me. So you need to know as individual what's important for you to address right then and there in the
yeah,
moment. Yeah. See, I may be okay. It may be two topics on the table, and I might be okay ignoring both of them and talking about them later. You might be like, oh no, like this is really important. Like this has to be addressed right now. And
yeah,
that's when those like cultural variables come in. So for example, if you get married and someone's like a very strong financial person who's just very diligent about bills and things like that. And then you got someone that's not really doesn't really worry too much, kind of like flies by the seat of their pants, lives
right.
day to day type of thing. That
Jesus
person
will
may
bring
feel
us
like
out.
talking, yeah, that person may feel like talking about the electric bill is really important right now. And the other person may feel like we don't need to talk about it till the envelope is yellow.
It ain't even here. It ain't even here. Why are we talking
Okay.
about this?
Right.
Yeah, they ain't a shut off notice. We got time.
Exactly.
Yes, that's me. That's
Right.
our house.
So
Well, not
it's
me now. That used to be me.
right.
Yeah. I I
Right.
I just want to
Yeah.
staying silent on the things that need to be
Uh-oh.
addressed. So
Oh, no, be
what
there. Oh, there.
hmm, there you go. So what about talking to your parents, like staying silent on things that need to be addressed? Like what if you want to communicate with your parents or like some things prior that you would like to talk about? What if you want to bring those things up? What's your thoughts on that? With staying silent on things that need to be that you feel that I feel need to be addressed, right? Is that how you do it?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. So, you mean like as an adult for these
As
are
an adult,
for all
yes.
the adult lists, not the minors, right?
Yes, correct. These are
Okay.
adults.
As to yeah, I mean, if you, I do l- believe that if there's something that's important that you want to talk about, you
Hmm.
should address it. You
Yeah.
should say it. Um, but I also feel like if it's something serious, like very serious, not the, like just not minor. It's just very serious to you. And it's
Yeah.
sensitive that you should let the person know that you want to talk about it and kind of set it up versus coming over one day and they think you're coming over just to, eat some crabs. And all of a sudden we're talking about how I left you home for 3 days while I was on an alcohol bender. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, wait a minute, what the hell? I thought we
Was
were
not
just eating crabs,
was not
I didn't
prepared for this
know this was on your
conversation.
mind.
Yeah, I got you.
Exactly.
I
Right.
got you.
So I think it's fair to say, hey, I kind of wanted to talk to you about some things. You don't gotta say like I want to talk to you about da 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 da. It's like I want to talk to you about some things that's been on my mind. And I'm hoping that we can have some privacy to be able to do that. And then hopefully the person is receptive and you guys can do that. But I think the person deserves kind of like a heads up, like this is a serious conversation.
So Didi says in the comments, what's important to you should be important to me. Is that true in any relationship? What do you think?
I don't I don't know. I just feel like it's an individual thing because
Yeah.
it depends on what it is. Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about sex? Are we talking about football? What are we talking about? Life is very broad. And that's a
Yeah.
really general statement. Like, what's important to you should be important to me. No, everything that's important to James is not important to me. But
Correct.
it doesn't
Hello.
mean I'm not gonna be disrespectful to him about it
His things
or
that
hurt
he
or
likes.
harm him or nothing like that.
Right.
But it may be things that's important to him that really are not important to me. And it's things that's important to me that's not important to him.
Some things they just don't even care about.
And right. But I think what D is saying, because I understand her statement, I think what she's saying is if I express to you that something that you did or something in relation to this is a problem,
Mhm.
then that should be important to you. My feelings about this situation should be important to you,
Right.
right? Like
Yes.
college wasn't important to James. He had a career when we got together. He was years
Right.
in already. So me going back to college, it was just like, oh, okay, I support you in that, but college really
Right.
ain't that important to me. You know what I mean? But so I get what
He's
she's
already in
saying.
a
So
career. Yeah.
right, I can support and love you through this. But that over there, what you're doing, that situation that is not of importance to me. It's more so I love you and I'm going to support you while you're doing the thing that's important to you.
Got you. Yeah, she
You
said
know,
yes.
so
That's
I
what
just
she
think
said
it's
was
pretty
talking about.
okay. Good, yeah, because it's really general, and we get caught up
Yeah,
in stuff like that, and then when we make it general and broad, it's I just like to let's bring it down. Like, what exactly are you
like be
talking
specific.
about?
What are you saying?
Yes. And what do you need from me in this moment? Like, football is very important to my husband. Basketball is important. He likes to watch it. He wants to sit down and watch it. So since that's important to him, I may not watch it, but I'm not going to change the channel. You know what I mean? You know
Right,
what I'm saying? So I was like, no, that's not important to me. I don't care about that.
right.
I'm not watching that. I'm going to be in here watching this. But it's like I'm not going to go in here and change the channel or book us for a date when he knows he wants to watch this game or whatever. You know?
I like that. Got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Did you get your answers? Your questions answered in the comments? Where y'all at? I see them. Yeah,
Where
address it with no
y'all at?
expectations. So yes, staying silent. So yes, communicate. The where we're going at here, where Jen's taking us on this nice road is communication, right? Communication and the dysfunction of it.
Yes.
How we should say
The I statements. Yeah.
the I
Start with I.
statement. Start with the
Mhm.
I and I. This is how I feel. This can we say
Yes.
this is how you made me feel?
This
No. What was that?
is how I feel. That's a controversial one, but only because I just like the I statements. I
Okay.
feel like this because you did that.
Oh, okay. I feel like
Yeah,
this
like
because you did that.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel disappointed because you missed my graduation.
Okay. Okay. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not
Mhm.
you made me feel. I
You
feel
did.
this because of this.
I just
Okay.
think the I statement is more effective.
Right. Because you
Yeah.
can only speak for what you're feeling. Is that what
Yeah,
we're doing?
because I just feel like it creates another piece of defensiveness that could come like you made me feel no I didn't do anything I wasn't trying to do that. It's like then we just lose sight of everything that
Now the
we should be
conversation
talking about.
going. Now we
Yes,
over here. Got you.
yes.
Okay. Yes, I needed that explanation because I'm over here big I. Now what you did was you made me feel sad because of what you did. Well, I
Yes.
didn't know I made you feel sad. I just told you you made me feel sad now.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
but it's the I.
Just
I.
try the I. Yeah,
Okay.
just try the I.
He listening. Let me know if it's gonna work. Okay. Okay. Are y'all ready to move on? Staying silent. We did the staying silent. If y'all have questions, please post them. Put them in the comments so we can see them. We can talk about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll talk them over. So unhealthy silence can be like the unhealthy misunderstanding sometimes
Oh yeah, for sure.
within relationships.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people
I
think
don't
that
think
silence is
silence is always
complacent.
bad.
Complacent? What's the word? Help me out. Like
Complacent.
it'll
Help
make
me
you
out.
feel like you wait, did I just make up a word? Where y'all at?
I think, and I'm thinking, I'm like, why isn't my brain working? I don't know what you're saying.
Complacent, right? Is that it?
Oh,
Complacent.
complacent. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Like
Yes.
sometimes silence will make you feel like that. Like, okay, well, they're okay with how it is. So we'll just continue to be silent and then move on. I know those people. Silence is
Yeah.
okay. Okay, we're gonna be silenced, then we're gonna move like everything is okay.
Yes. Silence isn't always bad, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes it's space for silence. It's okay. It's when it's long term and the issue never gets addressed, and then somehow the issue keeps happening, the same behavior keeps happening,
Hmm.
or it keeps getting brought up and never resolved. So silence isn't always bad. Sometimes it leaves space for us to think, for us to calm down, for us to
Yes.
figure out like, is this really as serious as I thought it was? And then also for us to communicate how we can actually work through this. Like, when can we talk about this? I would like to do this or find a different way to communicate it. So try not to look at silence as always bad. It can
Right.
allow a lot of space for us to reevaluate, to assess our feelings,
It
to
does.
calm down. Yeah,
Yes.
it's sometimes needed.
I believe that too, because I know for me, like I am the shutter downer. Like I'm going mute. Give me some
Okay.
minutes. Give me some time.
Yeah.
I need.
Uh-uh.
I'm sorry. What?
I can't. What is going
Sorry,
on?
what?
It's terrible.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, did I hear something?
I hear your voice. I am that person, but I feel like at this stage in my age, I feel like it helps me to go into my head to be like, okay, what really happened? Why am I really upset? What did he really say? Because in the heat of a moment, I could be hearing anything he's saying. I'm adding words at this point.
Yeah.
I'm losing it. You losing it. I don't even hear what you're saying, but I'm gonna make up something. Didn't you say such and such about? And he was like, I didn't say that. Well, that's what I heard. It's really not what he said. So that silence thing for me, like, really brings me back and reels me in to be like, okay, what exactly happened? Why am I upset? Why is he upset? Like, is it a big thing? It's really not a big thing. But had I been, continued on with the show, I'll be like, oh, you did blow that out of proportion because you really didn't need to go there.
Right. Sometimes you need the silence. You think they're not communicating effectively, but really you needed the opportunity to be silent.
Hello, you preaching now.
They helped you out.
Didn't he? Right. Because at this point, I'm like, all right, well, if we finna cut to the white meat. No, go shut up, girl.
No.
Go somewhere and sit down.
Yes.
And we do
Just
need those
stop it.
times.
Just stop.
Yeah. Go sit down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely need those times. I need time to reflect and relax. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times we are not right.
No. Sometimes we're out of our mind. Like, it's... Yeah. We are not right.
Talking foolish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, my people, I hope y'all watching and taking notes. I'm taking notes.
Yes,
It's gonna be some changes and rearranges around here. Y'all ask them later. Not tomorrow though. Tomorrow it's gonna be a good day.
It's gonna be all good.
He gonna be sick of me. I feel.
He gonna be like, it's time for silence.
Okay. Can you go sit down and get some silence, please? Get some silence. Yes. Yes. Are you guys enjoying the show? Put some hand claps. Thank y'all for watching. And we appreciate you, Jen, for coming on. Do you want to, what do you want to talk about? How about we go on over to dysfunctional family roles?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's spicy.
Spicy. We spicy today, y'all. Listen, because we need to talk about these habits, right? Because they're not curses. We're not doing generational curses. We're doing generational habits because they come from somewhere. You were saying in the beginning.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And what happens is sometimes because of the dysfunction in our household, we develop roles. And let's just talk about dysfunction. It's such a dirty, nasty word, right? It's like
it's vicious. It's a vicious word nobody wants to use. It's terrible.
Yeah. But we walk in Dollar General and be like, it's dysfunctional up in here. It's only one cashier. There's boxes everywhere. This is pure dysfunction. That's what dysfunction is.
Yeah.
Somewhere it's a lack of order, right? What's going on?
Oh, look at how you slid that in there.
You know what I mean? It's not like I'm saying, it's not like your parents had to be drug addicts or you guys had to be homeless or there was lots and lots of abuse in the house. Dysfunction comes all levels, shapes, and sizes. It just means it's a lack of order. What is going on? Something's not right. There's some piece to the puzzle is missing. And most of the time we're not paying attention to it or we don't know. And it just continues to fester and fester and fester. And it passes on down through generations.
I never even heard it explained like that.
Yeah, I'm not a textbooky explainer because I don't retain information like that. So I like analogies and things like that. Yeah. So like it's a lack of order.
Okay.
So because of that, sometimes the roles just happen. And some of them that I like to highlight are, let's start with the hero. Who's
Whoa.
the hero of the family?
Who
So
is that?
usually this happens amongst siblings. You usually see it amongst siblings. Like these roles is how this goes and the parents.
Mhm.
But who's the hero of the family? Who's the person who handles everything? They do the organizing, they get everybody together, they kind of like save the day if someone needs some financial help or needs to be picked up or dropped off or set up with things. They handle all of that. They're usually the go-to person for the parents when their time has come to an end. They're preparing, they handle everything. When the parents pass, they usually are the ones doing the arranging of the funeral, that type of stuff. They kind of wear everything on their
Gotcha.
shoulder. And that doesn't, I mean, when I talk about it, doesn't really sound bad, right, to be the hero, but it's dysfunctional because there's no one that should be in that role all the time for everyone and for everything.
It sounds exhausting.
Yeah, definitely exhausting. And you could probably point out a couple heroes amongst your friend groups and your family.
Yeah.
They're the person that doesn't get checked on usually. Like
Right. Right.
they
Right.
got together. Like they're the one. They're the house. That's the house we go to for the gatherings. That's
Right.
the one we go to, and it's not really a lot of being checked on in that role.
Yeah.
And that usually happens sometimes when families, that person had the responsibility at a young age anyway. Like they were the
You fall
one
right
that,
into it.
yeah, they were the one
You
that
get
made,
pushed into it.
or you get pushed into it. Yeah. Like, and so here's the dysfunction. There's the things that's out of order. Your parents work late and you were a latchkey kid. Most people grew up like that and they're like, that's not dysfunctional. It is, because you shouldn't be making a full course meal dinner. I had people that I grew up with that was making like baked chicken and mashed potatoes. Like we were in like 7th grade. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I got to cook dinner for when my mom comes home from work.
Yeah.
Some people look at it as a skill, but now this is what happens a lot of times for people. We get older and that
Mhm.
is our thing. We are the responsible one. We are
Right.
the one that handles everything, and we don't learn how to
Right.
take care of ourselves. We learn how to take care of everyone else, and no one ever checks on us because it's always like we got it together. That's the hero.
Appearance. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then you also have the mascot. So the person that kind of distracts, doesn't address stuff. Everything's a joke or
Oh.
funny. Laugh everything off. Yeah, like
Feeling attacked.
everything's
Feeling
a joke.
attacked.
Like it's, yeah. You feel
Feeling
attacked?
attacked.
Yes. So the mascot of the family, they're the person that keeps it light when things are starting to get heavy, or someone does want to have the conversation with in the family meeting, and they're like, oh, here comes a joke, here comes a funny story. Oh, y'all remember when such a ha ha ha? Whole house is distracted, everything's calm now, everything's safe. This is usually the person that also did this as a child, right?
Yeah.
Also just always joking around, laughing and stuff, especially when things were getting hectic or someone was sad or something, something was happening of that magnitude. So the hero and the
Gotcha.
mascot are like the most prevalent ones. You have
So there's these people are in everyone's family.
not
That
if you grew up
identified
in
some.
yes, they could be identified people in your family if there was periods of dysfunction or dysfunction throughout. We all have
Gotcha.
some form of dysfunction. And we may have bits and pieces of these roles.
Right.
So in some situations, you may be more of the mascot and less of the hero.
So you can interchange with the roles.
Yes, or you can have bits and pieces of it. But
Yes.
mostly people stay in their role.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. You have a lost child. It's the one that's kind of like more quiet, reserved, low key. Sometimes you say like the forgotten child. Like,
That's the middle child, they call them, right? The middle child syndrome.
oh yeah, people like to talk about the middle child. Like, yeah, it could be, but it could be any one of the children that ends up being the lost child.
Okay.
It's usually not the oldest, but could be.
Because they're normally the hero. The oldest is normally
They are
the hero.
usually the hero.
Got you.
They are usually the hero.
Got
Sometimes
you.
they're not.
Take
So
me
does
out.
it? Who said that?
Tiffany, she said, take me out, coach. Nobody wants to be the hero. They don't want to be the hero. It's
I
exhausting.
know.
She said, how do you step out of that role without hurting family and people? How do you step out of that hero role?
Why is our first concern always how if we're going to hurt people versus that we're hurting ourselves?
Dang. You
Why
saying
is that?
something tonight.
Why?
You really are.
That who said that? Whoever said that is a hero. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it because the concern is always someone else first.
Right.
All I'm doing is saying this is too damn much. I'm tired. Like I'm hurting you. Like you can't see
How?
that this
Like,
is hurting me.
yeah.
Right. So that's the number one thing. You might want to ask yourself, why am I more comfortable making myself uncomfortable than making somebody else uncomfortable?
That's good.
I'm not hurting or harming anyone else by making a decision that helps me, right? This isn't a purposeful way to hurt someone. I'm trying to help myself. So you need to ask
Right.
yourself, why am I okay? Why am I comfortable being uncomfortable and uncomfortable making somebody else uncomfortable? Like they're going to be okay.
And if they're not, that's okay too. Is it? It's not.
Give the hand clap. Hand clap, everyone.
I did a good one, y'all.
It's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay for someone else to not be okay. That's
And
okay.
you shouldn't at the expense of yourself, right? You shouldn't make other people
Yes.
okay at your expense.
Yes.
The hero is exhausting. They're already exhausted living life, doing their own family and their kids and work and all the rest of that. And then to take on other roles from other family members and friends and good Lord,
Yeah.
it is exhausting. I live with a hero, honey. He is tired.
Yes.
He's the
And
go-to.
listen, and they become enablers. Most of the time, the hero becomes an enabler, and they begin to do things for people that they could do themselves, that they can very much do themselves.
You got headphones on, mister? Okay.
He ain't inviting me back.
I love it.
I'm like, enabler, I need you to get on the horn, honey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
because they
It's
do
crazy
because
out
they
there.
will, like, he will literally like go and do stuff or call people. Like if someone needs their car fixed, all right, I'll call the mechanic for you. Why are you calling the mechanic for a car you do not drive, my guy? Because he's the go-to guy. He said it himself.
Yes.
So those people, and I really have to like stop him from doing that. It's really bizarre how, but sometimes he's okay with it, sometimes he's not. I think he like it a little bit.
We thrive over this.
Mhm.
See, he thrives off of it sometimes. But then
It's nice
sometimes
to
it
be
gets
needed.
overwhelming.
It's nice to be needed.
Yeah, but then like you said, sometimes it can get overwhelming. And
Yeah.
who's checking on that person? Because a lot of the times for the hero person, here I go in your
Right.
seat. For the hero person, it's they're giving, but they're not receiving. Yeah, they're not receiving
Yeah.
as much back from the people that they
Mhm.
give to. You only call them when you need something.
Yeah, that part.
Right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay.
So
All right.
it's
We did the hero
people are
and
going to
the
be hurt or upset. That's on them. Those are their feelings, and they can manage those feelings.
yes. Okay. The hero, the mascot, the lost child. We're on the lost child. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I got on my little soapbox for a minute.
Yeah. No, the lost child is like the ignored one or the one that kind of just keeps it low key. Just maybe they won't show up to some of the functions, you know, for whatever reason. They just have a more low key type of approach. And sometimes when they're younger and not necessarily an adult, it's like, oh, I forgot you were even in here. Like you're just so quiet and so non-problematic type of thing. Yeah, even when they probably should speak up and say something.
Okay. And is being the lost child a dysfunction?
All of this is dysfunction.
All of it. Okay. All right. So we're just identifying ourselves.
Yes. Because you're like operate in one state and one mood all the time, or one operate and show people one emotion or one side of you. We're not one-sided individuals.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not always happy and willing to help and feeling energetic to be able to help you as a hero would be. That's not
Right.
That's not human.
It's not.
That's not human. I should not always be laughing and joking and making jokes and avoiding difficult conversations. That's
Right.
no.
The
No, we're not
avoidance
all
is
one thing.
the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Who else? Now, where are these parents in these roles? These dysfunctional roles. Where they at? Where the parents? So are the parents some of these roles too?
Yeah, well, the parents are usually the reason for the dysfunction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have more roles?
Those are the top 4 that I usually like to. Yeah, okay. But the parents are usually the reason for the dysfunction. A lot of these roles came from something called ACOA, which is Adult Children of Alcoholics. But after research, they realized that this is just not for individuals who experience an alcoholic or an addict parent. This is for people who have experienced dysfunction. So then it broadened. Right. So it wasn't just like that your parents had a problem with alcoholism or drug addiction. So usually it's the parents are the foundation of this and just the way the household was ran.
Got you. So how can we as parents and grandparents not continue the cycle of these dysfunctional roles, right? How can we not do the hero, the older kid? Daughter, call me when we get done because I want to need to know if I made you the hero. If you was home frying chicken.
She can't cook. I haven't seen some of that stuff. I don't know.
And I'm like, was she doing this at 10 and I didn't know and I'm in the room sleep? As a parent, I'm always...
And you're just wondering where this home cooked meal came from.
Right. How did this happen? As a parent, I will say this. I am always interested in learning about how my adult kids had their childhood. How did they see their childhood? What did it look like to y'all? Because for me, they already told me it looked like something different to them. So I'm always like, when these kind of topics will come up, I'm always wondering, like, what role did you guys have? Or what role did I assign you? If I assigned you a role, or what role did you take on? I'm going to ask. Going in family chat, we done.
Yes. And, I hope people don't feel discouraged by the idea of dysfunction being in their family. We all got some type of dysfunction. Divorce is a dysfunction. Being grown up in a household where people stayed married who hated each other, slept in different rooms, or never showed any affection. There's just so many things that can cause dysfunction in a household. And then we develop these habits and we develop these roles. This is not a certain culture. This is not a certain one family that's on your live. This is almost every family has experienced some form of dysfunction. You lost your father when you were young. That changes your whole house. Or you lose your mom when you're young. It changes everything. Someone goes to prison. This is all dysfunction. The dirty word of dysfunction that we all experience. So you want to know, how can you fix that?
I mean, how can it get avoided in the future? How do we stop this? It can't get avoided. Why you do that?
It's hard to avoid it. But you can address it. Okay. Yes, because the dysfunction is probably just going to happen. Like, stuff just happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because life happens.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We can just protect ourselves from everything that's going to shake our house up.
Yeah.
But you can address it, and you don't have to act like it's not there. Like, there's people whose parents passed away when they were young, and after the funeral, the family never spoke about it again.
Right. Or it doesn't get acknowledged. The dates don't get acknowledged. You just act like, even when people get divorced, they will act like the other family never existed. Yeah. I find that so weird.
Very weird.
Like, if you're married for 15 years to another person and then you get divorced, the family doesn't magically go away. Yeah. But some people will act like poof, they're going, never to see it again. Oh, hi, brother such and such. You're my in-law. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Yes, dysfunctional. So things are going to happen. So we're not trying to avoid the dysfunction. We don't want to create it. If we don't want to just like purposely create it, but stuff happens and our life changes and we have ebbs and flows in life, and that's okay.
Right.
The thing is, we don't want to act like that didn't happen. We want to address it. We want to talk about it. We want to ask, like, how do you feel about this? How are you feeling today? How has this changed life for you? Because it does. It changes life. And we're talking about raising kids. It changes life for them.
Gotcha.
Right? You don't just move on. It just be like, okay, whatever. So you want to make it a part of conversation and not avoid conversation because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Got you. Do not avoid the conversation. We're learning, right? We're learning to avoid, not to avoid the conversation when it's uncomfortable. Tiffany has a question. She said, do you think dysfunction can come from what you may think is a positive things? Example, showing too much affection. Could that become dysfunctional?
That is such a good question, because that's a good question because like you have a perspective of what's positive, and say you didn't get a lot of affection when you were young. So when you had kids, you're like loving them up and you're just kissing them and loving them, hugging them, all of that stuff.
I love you so much.
It can be very dysfunctional because like, what the?
And the kids are like, whoa, back up.
I love you too, bro. Like, I really do love you, you know? Yes. That was a good example because affection doesn't seem like something that would be dysfunctional, right? It's like, this is a good thing. And yes, it is a good thing. But what if your kid has had enough of it? How do they tell you that they've had enough without you being upset? Or they say something like, but I'm just trying to love you. This is where here we go. Okay, I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to let my mom love and hug me and kiss me all up every day, everywhere we're at. And I'm never going to say anything about it because she gets upset about it.
Oh.
That's when it becomes dysfunctional. So if the kid says, thank you, mom, if for some reason your child is able to say, mom, do you think you could just not do that all the time? And you can say, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't, and y'all can have a conversation about it. It doesn't have to be dysfunctional anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
I like
you don't
that.
know what you don't know. So if you're doing that and your kid never says anything or you never ask, like, people don't think kids need to give consent for things, and they do.
They do. I always ask kids, can I hug them? Is it okay if I hug you?
Hug right now? Like, oh my God. I let everybody in my family, even my kids, everybody. First, I'm not really a hugger like that. Anybody knows me knows I'm not really a hugger like that.
Turn into one. It's the overcompensating.
If
overcompensating.
They initiate the hug, then I will reciprocate the hug. But I let children initiate hugs. I don't go in for hugs. And like when people say, oh, go give Aunt Jen a hug, I say, when you want to.
Okay.
Like, don't send your kid over here trying to give me no hug.
Right.
Just if they want to, they will. That's just how kids are. If they want to, they will give you a hug.
Wait, but isn't that the culture though? Like we go in the house and we go around and hug everybody, and then we'll train the kids to get into the habit of when you come in the house, you go around and hug everybody. Is
not my kids.
You said no, not yours?
Not my kids, but it's a cultural variable. No, you don't have to hug if you don't want to. It's your body. You could be on your period. You could have cramps. You could just not be in the mood to be embraced. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you're going to speak. You don't worry about that. You're going to speak. That's different. You're going to walk into somebody. You're going to speak. Hi, Aunt so-and-so. Hey, Uncle so-and-so. Hi, everybody. But you do not have to go around hugging.
Yeah. Because that teaches boundaries, right, with their bodies and what they're comfortable with.
Autonomy. Like, I'm in charge of this.
Right.
Okay. I'm in charge of my body.
Yeah.
I don't want to hug Uncle so-and-so because he gives me a weird ass vibe. Or Aunt so-and-so. For whatever reason. Maybe he smells like Marlboros. I don't like hugging him.
Michelob. I don't want to
Michelob
on me. I like
exactly. He smelled like weed. It stink. I don't want to hug him. Like, is that wrong?
Yeah. So we should definitely respect the kids' responses, and let them. You're teaching them to respect their body, and if they don't want to hug Uncle Michelob Marlboro, don't make them.
I said what I said, Unc.
Period. My kid
But
don't want to
hey,
know
how
you.
you doing?
Yeah. How you? Oh, I'm good. Listen, man, here we go role playing. Tiffany said her son was like, bruh, but she said she thinks it's lacking in her childhood and she thinks she overwhelmed him and just teaching him how to show it to the family that he may not be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
He may not be comfortable with the hugs, especially
Yeah,
boys,
he
though.
may not be
Sometimes boys
comfortable.
be like, that's enough at a certain age.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like that, and it's not wrong to say, can I give you a hug? Or I would like a hug. Is it okay if I give you a hug? It's not, it's like,
Yes.
that's my child. That's not like your body possession. It is your child. That's not your body, though.
Right. You think people
Sorry.
kind of
I
some
know.
parents, so not Tiffany, this is not you, honey. You think some parents like overcompensate for like if they don't have a man at home or and they'll put the older kid into that, you're the man of the house, and is that part of the dysfunctional family roles?
It happens. Yeah, but sometimes it's
Yeah.
like I really need your help and you're the oldest and I need you to like watch your brother for 2 hours, when y'all get home until I get home from work. And
Yeah.
it just happens like that. It's not like
I
I'm
mean, like
trying
the
to make
man
my
of the
family
house.
dysfunctional. Yeah, like I hate that term. Like sometimes my husband would say that to man and be like, You're in charge, you're the man in the house. I'm like, no, he's not.
Who you gonna help?
Exactly. He ain't even got no cell phone. What he gonna do? What is he in charge of?
Right.
But it's just like something that you say, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah, sometimes we overcompensate as individuals either way, whether you have kids or you
Right.
don't, because
Gotcha.
of what was lacking. It just
Yeah.
happens like that. Yeah.
Got you. Okay. So how can for our dysfunctional family roles, how
Mhm.
can we move forward and help? I chipped my tooth earlier. Can y'all see?
Oh
No.
no, I can't see.
It's bothering me while I'm talking.
Oh,
Like my tongue is scraping across it.
oh no.
Well, I gotta go back to the y'all pray for me. I need a new dentist. That's a whole long road.
Oh
I
Lord.
don't want to talk about. But anywho, so dysfunctional family roles, we are a lot of time it's not our fault that we're in them.
Yeah.
And then we're putting to them by situations, life, and circumstances. So if
Yes.
we would love to back out of those roles or take like a back seat sometimes, how can the family show respect to that? Like I don't want to be the hero or I don't want to be the mascot or I want to like sometimes they don't take the mascot seriously anymore because the mascot's always joking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is
Yeah.
a me problem. This is a me problem, right?
Yeah.
So it's up to you to do the work around that. You can't expect your family to release you from something that you've been doing all this time.
You preaching. She tried to get an
You've
offering,
been
y'all. We're gonna put
doing
a cash app up.
I'm just telling y'all the truth. And I can tell you from my own personal experience,
Yes.
outside of being a therapist, you cannot expect people to not expect what you always do.
Right. You the good time girl. It's a lot.
Yes, get the party started. It's like, I'm not in the mood today. I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? Well, why wouldn't they have that response, man? This is what you do. This is what you
Right.
do.
Right.
So that's why I said it's a me problem. All right. It's
Yeah.
okay. Don't take it personally. It's the role that I've been playing all this time
Yeah.
and I want to change it. You have to be okay with being uncomfortable with people's responses. You have to not take it personally because this is what they expect. This has been your norm all these
Right.
years. So you have to be uncomfortable with them being uncomfortable. You have to not take it personally
Yeah.
and then you have to do the work. You can't expect anything from them. This is on you.
Right. Because it's what you've been portraying the whole time. It's been
Yeah.
your persona. So if you've been the hero, but I will say, like, give your heroes some breaks, some time. Like, I will definitely give them self-care. You know what I mean? For people who take
Yeah.
advantage of your hero, send them a massage coupon. Treat them to dinner. Like, really take care of your people. If you know you call your uncle or you call your friend and they're always there for you every month, every 2 weeks, you on this, not this man, but any man or woman horn, take care of those people. Like they need breaks. They need mental breaks because it's tough for them to like to put back into that cup when it's so empty from giving it out to everyone.
Yeah. And heroes, surround yourself with people that support and love you, like genuinely don't need anything from you.
Yeah.
Just support you. And that will come naturally for those individuals. And sometimes those people are outside of your family.
Oh, I like that because it's never always just your family. A lot of support comes from other places.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, we done been on here for a little while. All right, guys. Is there a game tonight? I think there's a game tonight. Well, what is going on in the corner? Y'all, Mr. Producer is very vocal tonight.
What is up with the producer?
Mr. Producer is very vocal tonight. So we are going to come back. Oh, guess what? We're coming back next week. Guess who's going to be here? Jen. So Jen's going to be here. Yes. What Tiff say? Yes. Loving you without conditions and expectations. Yes. I love that. I love that. So what I need y'all to do, right, is we are going to go to, what's your website, Boo? Your Facebook?
Oh, well, you can follow me on Facebook at Cultivating Wellness. You can follow me on YouTube at Cultivating Wellness. I have 2 episodes on there for my Cultivating Wellness podcast.
They're amazing.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Cultivating Wellness.
Yes, cultivate. Is that a dog?
Child, yes, he's so loud. He only 6 pounds. He's not in the same room as me. Oh my God, he's so annoying.
Is it your dog?
He the lost child. Yeah.
He probably looking for you. Where's she at? She been going a long time.
I'm like, good Lord, where's she at?
Yes. So Cultivating Wellness. Please go and support Jen's podcast, support her pages. Go like, share, subscribe. All of that. Cultivating Wellness. Yeah, she's there. So she has she has 2 episodes up and they are really good.
Yes.
Very good. I've seen them. Commented. I'm in there. So yes, go find her. She will be back. Jen, you coming back next week?
I'm coming back next week. If the people want me, I'll be here.
Y'all want Jen back? Can y'all please put some comments so Jen can come back? It's Mr. Producer clapping. He like, please. Yes, please. Yes. You know what it is. You know the vibes. Yes. So please come back. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for these topics. Just the dysfunction and not making it feel like everybody doesn't have it. It's dysfunction everywhere.
Yeah, it's just a lack of order, and it doesn't have to be forever. It could just be something that threw your equilibrium off. It's okay. It threw off the balance of your house, and that's okay. It happens to all of us.
Yep. So next week, guess what? We back.
Yes.
I was going to cut. But we are back. We're going to talk some more about these family patterns and this dysfunction that we have that are here. So yes, everyone's they're in the comments saying we need Jen. We want Jen. Yes. So y'all wanted her. We brought her back. So next week, 6:30. What day is that? 9/12. 9/12. That's Thursday. Yes, 6:30. We will be here. Part 2.
Yes, and remember to use I statements. Guys,
yes, wrap it up. Bro.
I feel such and such when you such and such. Remember that silence isn't always bad. So you can take that time to reflect. You can take that time to de-escalate and create a strategy for communication with the person, right? And remember that dysfunction is not a dirty word. It just means things are out of balance. And sometimes those things help us to create habits that last much longer than they need to. And we're going to fix those habits so we don't send them to our kids and grandkids.
Got you. Y'all have that?
Right now.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Because dysfunction is not a dirty word. Look at, we are learning, right? So here on Beyond the Surface podcast, this is what we're learning, right? We're empowering ourselves. Jen is helping us to empower ourselves with the I, and we are being encouraged, enlightened. I have been enlightened so much to not do the blame game because I want to have these conversations and be like, this is how you made me feel and you did this and this is what you're doing. And I know at this point it is I start the conversation with I, right? You gave me so much information. I think you've given, the people
you got
information. Thank you. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share. What else is it? Follow. Yes, go follow. Follow us. Follow me. Go follow Jen too, y'all.
Yes, all the things.
Follow us. All of them.
Do all the things.
all the things. So yes, so thank you for coming on, Queen.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
you. All right, so we will see you guys next week on Thursday at 6:30 on the Beyond the Surface podcast, where I am your host, Sharon. So somebody knocking on the door. Is that our door? My God.
My dog barking, somebody at your door. Time to go.
Time to go. All right, y'all. See y'all later.
Bye.
This is so weird.